What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming, bringing you the last review for the day of Mortal Kombat Battle for the Realms. Yeah, this is gonna be I don't know. It might be one of them. My head hurts thinking about it. This might be one of those reviews, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, Synopsis as always. The heroes must travel to Outworld to defend Earthrealm as Scorpion searches for the ancient Kamidokus, or Kamidoku, before it's used to resurrect the one being. Um, I will say I like the little. If you've seen it, it's a little intro where Scorpion jumps out of the WB little like logo. It opens up to show the NetherRealm. You see Scorpion jump out there. He doing some flips and kicks and stuff like that. And then it opens up to show Shaggy and Scooby, and Shaggy's like glowing with this green ore, and he's like, get over here, man. And then he just sits there smiling with these glowing green eyes. So I'm just like, that was cool. I like that. But for the movie itself, it starts off basically with the Shaolin Temple or the White Lotus being attacked by the forces of Shao Kahn. This takes place after Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. This basically takes you on a wild journey. It's basically, I want to say it's a retelling. See, this is one of the problems. It looks like it's supposed to be mainly a retelling of Mortal Kombat 2, but it got elements of Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat 5, or Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance as it's known. It got it definitely got some deception. Well, no, I'll tell you about it. It don't have no deception in it. No, yeah, it don't have no deception in it, and it definitely, but it does have some Armageddon reference to it because there's some characters with their Armageddon outfit. I say only one. I think Rico was the only one who had his Armageddon outfit on. And then Mortal Kombat X. So it tells a lot of stories, and it didn't really need to. But because obviously Scorpion's Revenge took place during the first tournament, and this only needed to be. This could have been about the second tournament, maybe a little bit of mixture of the third movie in there, but you didn't need all these movies. But anyway, I'm digressing. So we're at the Silent Temple. It's getting attacked by Shao Kahn forces. You see, they introduce you to the first combatant you see of the good guys. You see is Kung Lao. So you see Kung Lao. He's trying to protect the Silent Temple. He's doing a good job with the Silent Ones fighting off the forces of Tarkatans, or Baraka's people. He's fighting the army of them, and out of nowhere, like Deus Ex Machina style, that he gets saved from a helicopter that's chopping people in half. Out jumps Jax, along with newcomer to the movie, Stryker. So they are immediately helping Kung Lao. They fighting off the NetherRealm. It looks like it's also NetherRealm demons among them. But it was an awesome set. It was an awesome set piece. It's showing the X-ray moves and bullet, all this type of stuff. And but then you get Stryker basically. Once things settle down for a minute, you get Stryker freaking out because he's like, "Did I just shoot something with wings? That was a monster that had wings. Did I just shoot something with wings? What's going on here?" And Jack's telling Kung Lao that he's new. Kung Lao meet Stryker. Stryker, Kung Lao. Then he proceeds to ask where the rest of them are at, And no, Kung Lao says you're late, and then he says where the rest of them at. And then he's like, Jack says where the rest of them. Kung Lao's like, where do you think they at? And Kung Lao looks towards towards like a little spot in the enemy's camp, and Jack just sits there and he go, oh shh. And then it transitions over to Kitana. Kitana is giving instructions on how to basically where she want people at. She want Kentaro and somebody else over here. She wants Jade over this way, and Rico and some old people over that way. And she tells her not to leave nobody else behind. I mean, don't leave nobody alive. I mean, sorry. And we get a funny moment with Johnny Cage. They like, wait a minute, who? What? They just hear a voice and they see it's Johnny Cage in the tree, and he's like, yeah, I've been sitting here this whole time waiting for you guys to notice me. Then he jumps down. I don't know why, it was just so funny how this next scene went as he jumps down. I guess he jumped down wrong and hurt his back, so all you hear, he just blue, oh my back. You hear his back crack and he goes, shh. He cusses and goes, ah. Anyway, he basically started taunting them, telling them he wants to negotiate a surrender. And you hear Kentaro. And this will lead into why one of the other things I didn't like about it. This will lead into Kentaro saying how he was basically saying, haha, the little humans want to surrender. Tell them no, Kitana, so we can squash them and kill them. And Kitana said, Kitana is like, okay, what do you propose? Then he's like, okay, yeah, smart one, blah blah blah. He started running his mouth. Then she said, you know what, never mind. And he was like, oh, okay, 2 months coffee. I have 2 months coffee and energy drinks. Anyway, we kind of negotiate the surrender, and here it is: lay down your arms, put down your weapons, lay down your arms, and we'll make sure that you get out of this alive. And they look at him like, what? Wait a minute, what? And he's like, yeah, you see, I know you're confused. I understand. Blah blah blah. They say, he started talking more in his mouth again. And Kitana like, wait a minute, you want us to surrender? And he was like, well, yeah, and then he was like, because basically he said 1, 2, 3, carry the 4, dozen of you and versus me, and that's hardly seem fair. And so then they counter offer, tell him to bow down and pledge allegiance to Shao Kahn. He doesn't. So then he goes into the fight stage. He's going, wah, Bruce Lee. And then all of a sudden one of the Barakas or the Tarkatans head just blows off. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that's my girlfriend back there. He he does it throughout the whole movie. He keep calling Sonya his girlfriend. But yeah, this is how they introduce Sonya. She's basically right in the wings with a sniper blowing off all the people's heads off. A fight breaks out, and he end up, I think he had a brief fight with Jade. And then Jade end up getting attacked by Sonya with Johnny Cage asks for help. And she's like, and she even tells Johnny, "I am not your girlfriend." She also keeps saying that until she eventually gives in. We all know she eventually gives in, but she said, "I am not your girlfriend." And so they end up fighting. Liu Kang and Raiden souls up, but then Shao Kahn also souls up after a while. Liu Kang prematurely jumps the gun and tries to attack Shao Kahn, but Shao Kahn basically shrugs it off. I think he pretty much I think the punch was the only thing that affected him because it did make him go like that. But I think the kick he just basically took the kick, grabbed Liu Kang by his foot and by his leg and threw him into the tree. And he tells Shao Kahn said, tells him, because I think Raiden tells him to stop. Because obviously he's no match for Shao Kahn at this point in time. And Shao Kahn's like, yes, listen to your master, because I did not come here to fight. obviously after just attacking all of them. But he said he came here to for a proposal. He proposed a final Mortal Kombat tournament to determine all the rounds instead of just for the Mortal Kombat, which is weird in itself because this was a Mortal Kombat that was determined all the rounds, yet only Earth Realm was fighting. If only Earth Realm was fighting for not only themselves but every other round. Because if Shao Kahn won, basically you understanding of the tournament, they go. Shao Kahn asked Raiden to come with him to the realm of the Elder Gods to petition them for another tournament, one final tournament to determine the fate of all rounds. And so Raiden agrees because it's a way to end the bloodshed and the death. So that the next two or three generations don't have to continue to fight. Because he says he explains to them that maybe we do win, but they have vast resources in Outworld, and they're gonna just continue to come back. So Raiden makes up his mind. He tells them that this is what we're gonna do. They go to the realm of the other gods, and they actually do petition. Then we get to like Scorpion's part of the movie. He has a dream that he's alive again with his people, with his family and his clan. Then once his son runs to his mom, everything catches on fire, and he realizes that he's not really alive. It's a nightmare, and it's not And then they taunt him, asking him why didn't he save them, and as they all disintegrate, and he starts to burn and disintegrate and turn into a skeleton. But then he wakes up in the Nether Realm, having been summoned there by I was about to say Quan Chi, Shinnok. And this is where a little bit of the Mortal Kombat 4 story coming in, because it wasn't you. If you are a Mortal Kombat person and a fan, you know that Scorpion story in Mortal Kombat 4 was a protector. He was trying to protect Kuai Liang, or the second Sub-Zero, because by that time in Mortal Kombat 4, he had found out the truth that he was set up. But it wouldn't be until Mortal Kombat 4, the events of Mortal Kombat 4, that revealed to Scorpion that it wasn't Sub-Zero who killed his family and clan in the first place. It was actually Quan Chi disguised as Sub-Zero. So this is where Mortal Kombat 4 come into play, because Shinnok is also involved. He's also trying to make his play to destroy all the realms. They call him the Mad God. This is where the movie starts getting confusing. Everything I was saying up until this point, this is where it starts to go, like it starts to just I want to say go downhill super fast and super bad, but this is the downhill slope of this movie. So we find out that when Scorpion took that key in the first movie, it bonded with his soul, and that key is the key to the last Kamidoku that Shinnok wants to, because Shinnok has the rest of the Kamidokus, and he wants that Kamidoku to reunite so that it could reform the one being. The one being has the powers to unravel and destroy all the realms, and he wants to basically bring that one being back. I think Scorpion even asked Raiden at one point why would he want to do this, and he said because he said for revenge, because he's basically he went insane, revenge. They do call him the Mad God for a reason. But that's like later on in the story. But before that happens, Raiden gets the request answered. I think Scorpion goes on the run from Shinnok, and then Shinnok basically orders them to either to go after him or find somebody who could actually get and bring him Scorpion, so he could get the last Kamidoku, because he's trapped in the Nether Realm. He can't leave the Nether Realm just yet. This drew the transition back to Shao Kahn and Raiden. The Elder Gods agreed to the tournament. Raiden also has a request. he wants to participate in the tournament this time around. But even Shao Kahn points out you can't participate. This is called Mortal Kombat for a reason. You are a god, and he said I don't have to be. And Raiden willingly sacrifices his godhood to become mortal so he can participate in the tournament. This concerns Kung Lao and Liu Kang once they find out what happens and the tournament begins. So they end up coming to Shao Kahn's fortress, where they're introduced to, and they're given the rules. The rules of the tournament is simple. They cannot be harmed. They will not be harmed before the tournament, and they are allowed to walk the grounds of the fortress, but not beyond it. And he asks Raiden, "Is he ready?" And then begins the rest of the movie of the tournament. So the movie then dissolves. This is where I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe it. This is where the movie just gets so. I was enjoying it up until this point, and it wasn't because of what was going on. It was because this movie, I'm looking at it right now. This movie is an hour and 28 minutes. So in an hour and 28 minutes of this movie, they start to this, at this point to the end, they rush a lot of storytelling that could be saved for future new movies. You start to see the unnecessity of some of the stories, but it takes place in Shao Kahn's Coliseum. They fight, but then you see Devora is fighting on the side of Shao Kahn. We got Li Mei and Li Mei got. I think she got her either. She got her. I want to say deception costume on that you see in Deception. You got, like I said, Devore. You got Reiko, Kentaro. So it's at this point, it's a mixture of Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 with Deception, Deadly Alliance, and NKX. So you got this story. Some of the stories of them going on at the same time. Man, it's basically you got. I think it was something. I forgot who was actually first. Johnny Cage versus Devora was first. Johnny Cage versus Devora was the first match, and then it just goes on it's just a then after that it's a montage. I think Stryker versus Baraka, a montage of Sonya Lee versus Li Mei, Raiden versus Reiko. And these are not fleshed out fights. These are montage fights. You see bits and pieces of it. You see Liu Kang versus Jade. You see Kitana versus Liu Kang at one point. You see Shao Kahn versus Raiden, and pretty much once you get to Shao Kahn, you see Shao Kahn versus Kung Lao too. But once you get to Kitana versus Raiden, that's where they continue to rush things. Now they got intertwining. You got the scenes where Kuali Yang's Sub-Zero is basically you get their story about how him and Smoke is training. Then they find out what happened to Cyrax and Sector, about the automation, about them becoming robots. Their Grandmaster revealed what's really happening to them, and they became robots, and that they're being contracted with hunting down Scorpion. So, but they're told that they can't do it as they are right now. That's when we get the old story of them being told they got to be turned into robots. But we see how the Lin Kuei, we see how Kuan Yang and Smoke don't agree, so they try to escape, which we always know that it leads to Smoke getting captured and Smoke getting captured and Sub-Zero or Kuan Yang escaping, and eventually we get all three robots. We get Sector, Smoke, and Cyrax as the cyber Sector, and is Cyber Cyrax and Cyber Smoke. We get all of them in the movie, And then ship, the revenge story for Kuai Yang and Scorpion it was another hit to this movie because it was just so rushed. Everything beyond this point, in this point is rushed. They rush and all that type of stuff. But yeah, they end up Scorpion and them end up working together to try to help. The tournament is won. The tournament is run. I won't tell you about who, but then we get. That's not even the final battle. The final battle is with the one true being, and it just a heaping mess of. Wow, this story just went everywhere. But with that being said, to give y'all my thoughts of what I would give this movie, it was a good movie, and I can watch it more than once, but. It was just like for what it was good. But this movie could have been a way lot better with a lot more runtime, a lot more if they focus on a specific story, or maybe just maybe just two more. Like they could have added like 1 to 2 more stories to like 3 total stories they could have focused on, or maybe just 2 stories, or maybe 1. Like I say between 1 and 3 stories they could have focused on, but they had so many interconnected that this movie just was a heaping mess. So I would give this movie I give this movie a 6 big ups, just because it was just confusing, and not confusing, but it was all over the place. Like I said, the main thing that hurts this movie is that this is a movie that's supposed to be centered around the events of Mortal Kombat 2, and they got elements of 3, elements of Mortal Kombat X, elements of Mortal Kombat 4, Deadly Alliance, Armageddon. You just got so many different elements of this story that plays out. So many stories you could have told. Like, it's so many stories that could have been saved for future movies that they put all into this. And it just, by the time you get to the end, you're just like, I'm really not enjoying this anymore. Like, but for me, when I got to the end, I was just like, yeah, okay. You rushed it this far, but if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you will enjoy this movie. This is one of those rare movies. Even though it's a 6, I could still see myself buying this movie to add to my movie collection and rewatching. But yeah, this movie, you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you will enjoy this movie, and you might be able to rewatch it a couple of times. But yeah, it's just a movie that had good promise until you actually watch it, and it's hurt by it being all over the place. It made me think about the live action Mortal Kombat movie that just came out. Like, that movie was also kind of bad, but that's another video for a different time. If you enjoyed this review video, hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. And if you really enjoy it, you want to support the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification button so you get notified when I drop videos. Remember, hit all those buttons. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. I'm out. I might be back. I'll probably be back. No, I won't be back Friday. Saturday or Sunday with some gameplay videos. But peace.